love history. Did your wife keep her maiden name?
Man, I tried to call you. Did you change your number?
What you wearing? You smell good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Muchos, thank you.
Football in the rear view. It means the floor is ours. Anthony Castrovince, good morning to you, and we'll take it. By the way, good morning. Did you love Usher? Because Matt was underwhelmed. It's been a topic of conversation on the show. It was top 5, yes? Hi.
Top 5? Top 5 what? Halftime shows last night? No, it was not.
Wait, you didn't like it? Were you not an Usher fan?
I mean, I'm fine with Usher. I got no problem with Usher,
Wait,
but I
what
thought it was
did
pretty
you like
underwhelming.
about it?
I like the roller skating was cool, but even my wife, she's a big Usher fan, and she was underwhelmed. She didn't think it had much. It was kind of slow paced to start and kind of built up, which I understand. But you only have 12 minutes. You don't have time to.
I don't want to even
you
have this conversation. I'm not doing this segment, gentlemen. Oh, Anthony, gosh. All right, let's talk baseball.
All right, Lauren.
Let's get back on track, something we agree on. We're reflecting on the offseason. You did it in your latest column. Big changes coming to the north side of Chicago. When Craig Counsell replaced David Ross, I think we all, Anthony, said, are they going to give him talent to build around? How does this team compare to last year, and how do you kind of reflect on their offseason?
Well, this is like a little bit like the Usher halftime show. A lot of anticipation after they had Craig Counsell. And then kind of, when is this going to get going here? Shota Imanaga is a nice add to the rotation. Hector Neris to the bullpen. But it's like, I mean, these guys know we're reporting to camp this week. Come on, let's get some things going. But, Craig Counsell was one of the big shockers of the offseason with the way that played out. Nobody knows how well this guy can manage a game more than his division rivals, right? And the Cubs saw him up close for many years. But we're not a team expected to go out and get him, and they did. And it was a big deal, kind of setting a new bar for managers. And you thought, okay, well, now the Cubs are really going to go for it. But as we sit here today, Lauren, 83-win team last year, projected to be a 500 team this year. They do have a lot, of interesting pieces in-house, but they need some offense. They need probably more pitching stability in the rotation. They're pretty young in the rotation. They don't walk people, but they don't have a lot of strikeouts either. So we're waiting on the Cubbies, just like I'm waiting on Usher to pick it up a notch.
That was like the pinnacle of the performance.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. I'm so curious, the fan reaction, by the way, when they go back to Milwaukee. I think I know what it's going to be, but it'll be interesting. I think I know the answer to my last question. Will they be better than a year ago when the Royals come into view? I mean, the veterans, sure, that were added, but just, signing Bobby Witt long term, perhaps that does something to the overall psyche of the team. What do you think?
As Usher would say, yeah. 106
Please don't
losses
quote
last
a
year.
great one, unless you like the performance, honey.
Can I work Usher into every answer? That's the question. 106 losses last year. They can't be worse. They will be better. Significantly higher floor now after, this is another great shock of the offseason. The Royals have committed, nearly $400 million this winter. That's more than the Red Sox, Yankees, Mets combined. You see their activity. Now, is that the makings of a championship club like the Chiefs next door? I don't think so, but it raises the floor in a division that is, it doesn't require much to be in the thick of things in the AL Central. But the big move, of course, was the $288 million commitment to Bobby Witt Jr. That's only $206 million more than their previous franchise record contract was the Salvador Perez extension. So that's a big deal right there. Patrick Mahomes even talked about it at his media availability over the weekend, what a big deal that is for Kansas City. And just for the record, Lauren, Bobby Witt Jr. makes significantly more money than Travis Kelce in his contract. So Taylor Swift is, things don't work out with Travis Kelce. Bobby Witt Jr. is doing pretty well for himself.
Wouldn't that be something, honestly? Taylor's like, no, I'm good, Travis. Bobby, what's your name?
She's got a thing for Kansas City athletes, like we said.
Apparently she does. 56 wins a year ago for Kansas City. They're looking north of that. It was 82 for New York, the Yankees, that is. And Marcus Stroman hoping it's more this year. He said he and Cashman had conversations. We saw them on camera talking. What's your take on the pitching staff in the Bronx and their offseason so far?
Yeah, you would not have connected those dots. I wouldn't have Marcus Stroman to the Yankees. I mean, we know it's a business and things change and storylines change and past grudges are put to the side when big dollars are at stake. But it was still pretty surprising that, Marcus Stroman ends up with the Yankees, given the famous quote by Brian Cashman a few years back at the trade deadline where he said, they wanted more of a difference maker. And Marcus Stroman turns out would have made a difference for the Yankees, as would have keeping Jordan Montgomery. So reuniting with either one of those guys in this free agent market would have qualified as a surprise, and they, of course, end up uniting with Stroman. But he left money on the table from the Angels reportedly to do this deal. Is the Yankees rotation set now? I mean, I would still argue they could have used another arm and still could go out and get another arm. Blake Snell is still out there, of course, and he makes a lot of sense for them. Maybe Montgomery even, who knows? But, Yankees better in the rotation today with Stroman than they were previously. That's for sure. It's just not a match you would have expected given the old grudge in the past.
You ask Yankee fans in this building, they are not done. Bite your tongue. We will see pitchers and catchers reporting this week. I feel like we went into this offseason talking about Bieber and talking about Cease, but it was two former Cy Young winners who moved, Chris Sale and Robbie Ray. What can their new teams, Anthony, expect this year out of both of them?
Yeah, very, very surprising there as well because you mentioned Bieber, Cease, of course, Corbin Burns did end up getting moved. So that wasn't a great shock, but I am surprised. Robbie Ray and Chris Sale, I mean, so you start with the Red Sox and Sale. I mean, the Red Sox clearly need pitching. They need to add pitching. They did with Lucas Giolito and then trade Chris Sale a day later. So that was definitely a surprise. And, you didn't know what his trade value would even be anyway, given that, Chris Sale hasn't had a fully healthy season since 2017. It's 153 innings over the last 4 years. 102 of those came last year, of course. So the Braves, taking a calculated gamble here. Vaughn Grissom was a superfluous piece for them, but a good piece for Boston. And they take on the injury risk with Sale. So we'll see. They have an interesting rotation. Max Fried, pending free agent. Charlie Morton's 40 years old. Chris Sale, we know the many injury issues there, but kind of a cool out of left field deal. And then Robbie Ray to the Giants. That's one of those where we'll look up midseason and go, oh, right, the Giants added Robbie Ray over the winter because he'll be coming back, for Tommy John. Alex Cobb will be joining them midseason as well. So Giants rotation will look a lot different mid-year than it does today. And from the Mariners' perspective, they get more up front. Anthony DeSclafani is an option for them right now, going into the season. Mitch Haniger comes back to aid the offense. So I love that deal. I like that deal for both clubs. I think that was kind of a fun one that, again, came out of nowhere because, Robbie Ray was not a highly touted trade chip given that he's on the shelf. But it just goes to show the creativity in the business. There was a lot of arms out there in free agency and trade, but a couple of big ones come off the board there in Sale and Ray.
Apologize to Usher on the double, Anthony. Last chance before we go to commercial break.
No, he needs to apologize for me for the first 8 minutes of his 12-minute halftime.
13 minutes he took from my life, I'll never get back. Whatever. Thanks for the time.
Way to go, Anthony.
Did you coach him before?
No, the commitment to the take is admirable, though, man. Like, look, nobody hates the performance. It was great, but it just wasn't. I'm with Anthony. It was good, but it wasn't like I'm not.
It was electric.
You can't ask an Usher question to a guy that had Springsteen albums framed in the background.
Yeah, that's probably right.
True.
That's my bad.
I was saying, Ron, that's how we operate in our house. Immediately after the Usher performance, I put on Springsteen's halftime performance for my kids to show them, a little palate cleanser.
Oh, gosh. Back in the day.
Way to go. Anthony, thanks, man.